John Force Racing. Next stop, 300 wins. There have been a lot of great multi-car funny car teams over the ages, from Don Schumacher to Barry Setzer to Jungle Jim Lieberman. But when it comes to sheer numbers of success in event wins and championships, it's all about John Force Racing, which stands on the precipice of yet another milestone entering the 2025 season. When Austin Prock or Jack Beckman next reaches the winner's circle, it will mark the 300 funny car win for the organization launched by its namesake way back in the early 1970s. 10 drivers have contributed to the 299 wins to date, with Force's record 157 leading the way, followed by Hight, 65, Tony Pedregon, 27, Courtney Force, 12, Mike Neff, 10, Prock, 8, Gary Densham, 8, Eric Medlin, 6, Ashley Force Hood, 4, and Beckman, 2. Force collected 16 of the team's 21 funny car championships, while Hight added 3, and Pedregon and Austin Prock each collected 1. Their wins and championships total far outstrip Don Schumacher Racing's funny car haul of 177 event wins and 7 championships. Force got the team to 50 wins of the 1996 NHRA Gator Nationals, and win number 100 came just 4 years and 104 races later when Pedregon scored at the Fall Houston event in 2000. As the competition got stiffer in the new millennium, the wins got tougher to come back, and number 200 didn't happen until the peak of 2011. Yet that was just a span of 262 races, so JFR was still winning at a pretty good clip, 1 win every 2.6 races. Win number 250 was by Robert in Seattle, 2017. Here's a quick look at each team member. John Force. 157 wins, of course, as we all know. It took Force more than a decade and 9 runner-ups from his 1977 debut to get his first win at Le Grand National outside of Montreal on June 28, 1987. But he quickly wasted no time adding to that, winning 3 times in 1988, and by 1990, he was a world champ. He won the championship every year of the decade except 1992, when Cruz Pedregon was the champ. Force had actually reached the final round of Montreal the year before, but was runner-up to Kenny Bernstein, who had beaten Force in the final round for 4 of his 9 pre-win runner-ups, including the last 3 before the Montreal win: 1986 Montreal, 1986 Englishtown, and 1987 Atlanta. Force alone scored JFR's first 51 wins, number 50 coming in Gainesville in 1996, before Pedregon got his first win in Atlanta in 1996. His victory in Chicago in 2000 was his 86th, passing Pro Stock icon Bob Glidden as the winningest driver in the sport's history, a mantle he still holds and most likely will always hold. Force scored career win number 100 of the 2002 NHRA Winter Nationals and number 150 in Seattle in 2019. He was also the first to reach 1,000 round wins, which he collected in St. Louis in 2008. He collected his 1,460th and most recent, and perhaps last, round win last year in Richmond on the Run that ended his season in a huge crash after turning on the win light in his 861st start. While it's still unknown whether he'll win another event or even race again, Force is sure to remain the GOAT. Force's total of 157 victories is 37 more wins than the combined total of his 2 closest rivals, Ron Capps, 75, and Hight, 65. Robert Hight, 65 WNS Hight, was the 5th driver to saddle up for John Force Racing when he switched from wrenching on team cars to driving in 2005 and became the team's most dominant driver of the 2000s. Hight won twice in his rookie season, his first coming in Houston, and was named NHRA Rookie of the Year. He scored his first of 3 championships in wild fashion, coming from the 10th seed in the relatively new countdown to the championship in 2009. He remains the only driver to win from that deep in the playoff rankings. He won the championship for a second time in 2017. Hight collected his 50th win in Sonoma in 2019, the same year that he won his 3rd championship with a dominating 50-18 win-loss record. Hight finished second in both 2022 and 2023, then sat out the 2024 season to deal with medical issues, which promoted Prock into his ride for what was ultimately another JFR championship. Like Force, Hight's driving future remains unknown, as he also chose to sit out the 2025 campaign. Tony Pedregon, 27 when Force hired the second-generation racer to drive his second Castrol GTX entry in 1996, he quipped, "I hired my own assassin," and, sure enough, Pedregon was deadly. Pedregon, who began his career with about a dozen races in Top Fuel in 1992, before driving in funny car for Larry Minor at a dozen events in 1995, scored his first win in Atlanta in 1996 and finished second in points behind Force, and was named the inaugural winner of the Automobile Club of Southern California Road to the Future Award, which identified the sport's budding stars, a title similar to NHRA Rookie of the Year honors. Pedregon's first championship, in 2003, ended Force's streak of championships at 10 and also ended Pedregon's employ at JFR, as he struck out on his own as a team owner. He'd go on to win the championship again in 2007 and ultimately collect 43 career wins before transitioning to color commentator for NHRA's television shows. Courtney Force, 12 wins. In 2012, Courtney became Force's second daughter to follow him into funny car, 5 years after older sister Ashley Force, whose spot she took on the roster when Ashley retired from racing. She scored her first win that season, in Seattle, in just her 15th start, and was named 2012 NHRA Rookie of the Year. Her 2014 victory in Topeka was the milestone 100th by a female racer in NHRA Pro competition, and she won her sponsor's specialty event, the Traxxas Shootout, in 2016, notched her career-high finish third in 2017, and in 2018 was leading the points entering the countdown until a disastrous playoff string dropped her to 6th place in what was her final season before retiring. From driving to raise a family with husband Graham Rahal of IndyCar fame, she finished her funny car career with 12 wins, 17 runner-ups, and 28 number 1 qualifying efforts. Mike Neff, 10 Neff, known to his fans and fellow racers as Zippy, came to John Force Racing in 2007, 2 years after he tuned Gary Seltze to the 2005 Funny Car Championship that ended JFR's 12-year reign, 1993 to 2004. He joined the Force team on the promise that he'd get a drive, and did so starting in 2008, where he became yet another JFR driver to be named the season's top rookie. Neff scored his first win at the 2009 NHRA Finals, then sat out the 2010 season after JFR scaled back to just 3 cars and tuned Force to his 15th World Championship. Neff returned to driving for the team in 2011 and 12 and, incredibly, won the NHRA U.S. Nationals both years and scored his 10th and final win at the Reading event in 2012. After leaving JFR, he rejoined Don Schumacher Racing, where he had scored the championship with Seltze and has gone on to successfully tune for a number since then. Austin Prock, 8WNS Prock, was already a past national event winner in Top Fuel. He recorded his first win in the class at the same 2019 event in Seattle, where Force won his 150th, when he took over the seat of the team's Cornwell Tools Camaro after Hight elected to sit out the 2024 season. Prock rose to the challenge in his first year in funny car by scoring 8 wins and 4 runner-ups en route to his first career championship. Prock had a record-breaking car beneath him and blister track records, set national records, and capped the season in Pomona by making the fastest run in NHRA history in the process at 341 miles per hour.